if I'm going to be able to excite you more. However, I have some little image for you to share. I want just to tell you something about travel, because we always talk about travel. Travel is very important for me, has been important in my life. I push all my young designers to go around, not to stay in office, look and travel. But I have to say that travel for me is like a state of mind. It's not so important how many kilometers or how far you go. I like to go to Tokyo, but I can travel to the supermarket near to my office. So traveling is for me is more on the attitude of your brain and exercise your eyes do when you go around. I have some image for you about my work. All my projects are very different. I like to start from scratch every time I have a new project, like writing a movie. One time is love, one time is war, etc. So you see my projects are very different. So I try to show you some connection with different places of the world. This is a project in Thailand, which has been done with the idea of, is a hotel, not so huge, but in Phuket, with the idea of 100% made in Thailand. And everything that you can see, all this huge wall done with this little wood. I went to a factory and I find in the garbage all this little piece of wood. So I ask if I can take it, and then we build 150 square meters of a wall. Another typical activity and craft in Thailand is weaving. They do weaving from small to big. And I weave all the corridor in the building with this basket fill. And the light goes. This is another story, completely different. It's in Miami. It's an historical building that we turn into an hotel. And again, this is the whole story is how to replicate this time of traveling in south of Europe, going into the beach and more like Riviera kind of feeling. That was what Dutch people traveling in the 40s to Miami were looking for, kind of connection with the south of France. This is the same project again, very fresh and little bit that kind of building that we have in the south of France. And now, completely different, this is Chicago. We design a bar like an apartment. So you enter to this apartment through lobby or the lobby of the lift, and you have an entrance like that, like can be an entrance of my apartment somewhere. Then we build in the same way. The club became other part of the apartment. There is a kitchen. There is a trophy room. This was a trophy room, and I use all trophies which are totally fake. One is done with a pearl in Africa. The other trophy are ceramic on the wall. We collect trophies that are really not, they are not real trophies, they are not animal, but they are reproduction of animal made in a different way. This is a story in Greece. Very simple house. The whole house is about carpet. Greek people paint in the little street with this lime every summer, so every room in this house has a carpet in the floor, which we designed by hand. The important is the light. In the whole project is about light and the blue of the sea. You can see this blue from every window. Every window has this kind of portrait, blue in the sea and one carpet in the floor, which has been painted. Greece is one of my favorite places in Europe. I like very different things. I like Greek, I like Paris, and this is Paris. This is a Paris house where is a kind of souvenir house. The chair are from Ming chair from Hong Kong that I painted into green because the color was not good anymore when they landed in Paris. This one chair is from Mexico, the other chair is from Italy, the other chair is from, the poof are from Austria. The red poof is made in Philippines with a newspaper. Things like that, collection. And this is, these are two different trips. One is China, collection of, I have a collection of this Mao Zedong in porcelain. And the other was a trip in a factory next to Milano. There was a problem and we need to restart this machine so many times. And this red things was the dirty things out of the machine. It became a sculpture and I brought it to me. India is the last. This is the 30th anniversary of my first trip to India. And these are some of the products that I developed in India with a craft here. This is in Moradabad, silver, inspired by the food container that I discovered in the market. And this is Ahmedabad trip come from the trip in the museum, beautiful textile museum. So I learned how to use those techniques and I developed all this textile. These are also from Ahmedabad, fantastic factory producing cast aluminum. And this is one piece of casting, reproducing a chair that I designed in leather. And on the right, there was a little bell I found, I don't know, somewhere in India, and we built a bell with all this, the lamp with all this bell. That's my last Indian souvenir for you.